So my point is, let's not associate Ayaba Cho with our struggle. But we have to fight him and fight him to finish. He's a terrorist and must be treated like a terrorist. All his group is a terrorist group and must be treated like terrorists by the Ambazonian government. We can no longer allow him to exist in any shape or form, pretentiously exist in any shape or form as a group in Ambazonia that represents our aspiration. It does not. Because for as long as I know, Ayaba Cho and his group have never fought La République du Cameroon. All they do is they kill our people. They kidnap our people, collect money. They tax our people and collect money. They do all the evil things that any terrorist group does. And they are partners in crime. Our enemy, La République du Cameroon, is watching them and is happy with what they are doing. And they have even embedded their soldiers in the group of Ayaba Cho. Go to my village, a place called Alabukam. You will find all the boys that there are also B soldiers, francophones, B soldiers embedded into the ADF that is occupying that part of Mancon and doing the type of things they do in Bamenda town. They kill journalists, they kill our civilians, they go to Guza and they shoot in public innocent people, and they have killed all our important fighters. Chacha, Isubu, General Biabia, and the rest of it, and the 8 fighters in this same Guzang that were gunned down and buried by Ayaba Cho. That is the job. That is what terrorists do. So we cannot be talking as if Ayaba Cho represents anything in our movement. He doesn't.
I don't know whether you there for ground zero or you talk the talk. So you say for no the talk fine, he talk na number 3 years this, you know the change, no nothing. But you the see say the struggle they die now. Or you know the see say the struggle they die. You wanna say me phone no the talk. Phone go continue repeat a word them as well as you. Una will continue for follow una liberation tax and people they come out the inside they struggle. Yes, come for ground zero. Na me mami for Bamenda I dey talk say come for ground zero. Then waka from village to village as we buy and sell with the waka from village. So listen to people them, listen to picking them, listen to mommy them, listen to papa them, listen to you them. You go know say the struggle they die they go because of liberation tax. We the workers suffer, we the workers struggle for any living. You are there for the liberation tax. So that you the talk now so because you be you inspector. Yes, yeah, inspector they feed you. You the shit down for what I shit down, yeah, inspector they feed you. You know, they check you about the ground zero, whether with this or with the husband of which kind of way before we get them. When I don't make them military, them they don't be the one that they climb on top. We hate say any small thing we get them go for brigana. Then they say more pain like this, more pain like this. If it been a bush boy them because they can't say bush boy, they say if it been a bush boy them. Like when I know, yeah, come on, give that money. They talk that thing. You talk say you no get money. If not, then they can't stand for here. When I know for you know for jam, you talk because now we no just talk that thing. If not, you enter for day. Yes, now so the life day now. Now so the life how we live on that day. I beg you, inspector, come down for ground zero. Come work for ground zero. Yeah, come work for interior. Then you go see him. Even the new town and they come with their way that them they stand still on their feet. Even if they do it now, they just do and I say, well, no surrender. Like I know things say the majority it day again like that first time. You talk now which kind of thing? Which kind of thing you want to say for the repeater? It repeater because it's not correct. We like me for my Bamenda, I will be buy and sell work all around. I tell you, say, correct that liberation tax don't kill you with struggle. Liberation tax don't kill you with struggle. If you don't kill the struggle, we not continue. Why would I not continue for the taxi color? Why would I leave taxi color? When I leave taxi color now, as waiting. When I for continue to say the taxi they must spend time. When I for continue, they see wonderful thing away Ambazonia and they go do for una. When I for continue, then when I see wonderful terrible thing away, it go turn inside the land. When I don't go touch that one, when I see say hot, when I run go back only for the one when I come meet all the we poor thing them for inside farm. We man to go work one bed farm. One come out for there, they say give money, say liberation tax. They liberate now waiting. The thing they liberate and waiting. Liberate the kidnapping away when we own one picking way sometimes you two don't try go someplace. You don't come for can cry and die, so when I take and go out of inside bush, collect all money for his skin, even keys on one the other for the. Now which kind they talk that you to the talk. I know nothing man like you away, you build land that they call you inspector. You feel talk that kind of thing for fun because without fun the singer, you just like Mama G. G for general. It is also repeat and they talk say the unity. That unity I will talk so way
unity it go continue for be elusive for Ambazonia.
That is the man on the screen there. I thought he was going to come out. Tell us. I thought he was going to come out to tell us where the ADF was fighting, or at least to congratulate our restoration fighters. No, Cho Ayaba came out, launched attacks at Dr. Sako, launched attacks at Chris Anu. Shouldn't he be telling us where his boys are fighting all this time with this firepower that we see on the ground? Barrister John.
Yeah, look, Chris. Before I say it, look at the way he's dressed. In which academic institution in England will you have an academic man like this?
I don't know. Now you are saying that, not me saying that, Barrister John.
Well, let me tell you, these our enablers are now ashamed. Look at him. This is a man with the blood in his hands. Look at his face. He's a killer. He knows that he come to Ambazonia, he will not survive. So he is sticking to his guns. All those kidnappings are orchestrated by remnants of the ADF in Mankon and leased with Bafut. Look, that cross and die man is in is somewhere in Tanka, and there is a remnant ADF camp in Tanka, and they should know our restoration forces will come after them. The Alabo camp has been reconstituted into an ADF camp, and there are a few of them there terrorizing every Ambazonian from Meta through Mankon and beyond, kidnapping them and taking ransom. We have a job to do, Chris. We have to go after these guys and decimate them.
Yes, you are very right.
It is uncalled for.
So for conclude this presentation, my country people then, I want you to look at any community where it get peace and tranquility, where normalcy it don't return. Think about any community or any division, which one comes to mind, and then ask yourself, how was it possible, say they achieve normalcy, say they get development, peace, and you need ever hear about kidnapping or not as rampant as Bamenda? Of course, you get places them like Lebialem comes to mind. You get Manfe Central, you get Kumba Central, you get Boya itself, of course you get Limbe and Nkambe Central. Of all of these places, the way I don't call them, one thing it be true and clear. Now say the community itself, it don't decide, say they don't want Ambazonia terrorism. Starting with the whole of Libialem, they picking them where they be carry guns inside bush for Libialem, they go back inside that Libialem talk say, we go can't destroy the thing where we be creating. And when I know the job where we don't do them on social media, with Belcher's Attack song, with Rado, with Valentine, and with Kingsley. When I remember the activism, the sensitization, and a bad reach for level where they begin to talk say enough is enough, If the Cameroon military be too slow, they go back for that bush, they carry bangman firewood, they knock Oliver 33 explore for head, they quench him, peace and normalcy, it can't for the BLM. Now exactly the same thing this way Capo Daniel they prescribe them today. So they need to create anti-gang. So the people them in that community where they suffer the terrorism, they need to take matters into their own hands. They need to find Bamenda firewood, find Mancon firewood, Nkwen firewood, knock the shit, nobody blast them for head, kill them. When una do am so, normalcy it go return, una go experience some peace, this kidnapping nonsense it go stop. And I understand now we don't kill plenty of the Pekin where they be terrorized, Mezam, Alabukam, Choalam, and all of those places them, Bafut, but the ones where they come now from other places them. We don't wipe Momo fine, since we they destroy the so-called ADF mother base for Momo for Batibo. So you see and say the few ones where they remain now, they don't run camp for Alabukam, can't join the other few ones where they did for day, and the other terrorists that they did for Bafut, they don't come to can't join the one they did for inside Mezam, for they terrorize people, and for Nchoalam, for Malfo, for Nkwen, and for Bambli, and all those areas them. That is the truth we understand. And now increasingly we see I'm saying and so picking they come out right from Bui. They can't terrorize people them inside Bamenda, but they come out from Salt Land. So this is one opportunity my contribute them. When I take the advice where Capo Daniel give una, now the same advice where I don't give una for God knows how long, since 2018 I don't tell una this thing, it never changed. Una need for liberate ourselves from the Ambazonia terrorism. Una find Bangma firewood, knock on for head, quench ham, peace, tranquility and normalcy, it will return to una communities. That is the only solution. If you should not for the beginning wait something some white person or some person come up from America or from Yaoundé, it can't help you for clean the mess where you make them, because like how Mark Barretta talk, you know if you give the picking them guns where you don't give them chop. It tell una because he knows now una give that picking them the guns, and they picking them to a certain extent they'll be angry at una. But tell una, when were these terrorists that be visit me, because I always talk, I relate to my own story. When they come for my house, una know one of the things where they talk they say they there for bush, they suffer, we there for town, we they enjoy. So just the fact that you go about your day-to-day activity, you go market, go buy jama, you fit go sleep for your own house, you fit go visit your mommy, you fit go drink beer for bar, all of those things them they envy them, and are drug addicts on top of that, and are illiterate. So na triple whammy, where it been a dangerous combination for an illiterate shit no white blast for be high on drugs and then it be angry on top of that. Dangerous combination. They vex with una. Say they so una radicalize them, manipulate them, send them for bush. Now they don't go for bush, now they don't be addicted to drugs, they don't live a normal life, and then when they in a town now they live in a normal life. So they will kind of kill una one by one. Out of anger, stupidity, of course criminality and thievery, they need for survive. Like how Tapang, like how Mark Barretta tell una, they need for survive. They need for survive. They are just struggling now for survival. And I waited I don't tell una since 2018. In the Anglophone zone, there is no such thing as a fight or legitimate fight for, you know, political or whatever against marginalization or for the betterment of Anglophones. Wrong. There is no such nonsense. It is all about criminality. I don't tell now since 2018. I be so happy. Say finally, I don't convince a few people them through evidence where it be laid to bear. Ambazonia terrorists, they can't move Anglophones them, they kill them one by one, and they could touch all man, and until it touch all man, it not get right for end. So that make all we feel the consequences, make all we feel the pain, so that we not go repeat this same stupidity in the future. Thank you, plenty my country people.
Make una devise other strategies for keeping our groups alive, and those other strategies when I get prison, then when I feel hold them on bail. When I catch one of those or two or this or three of those enablers, the one the way they come out diaspora where they never ever talk for the revolution, but they feel say they feel run business inside Ambazonia for war. When I catch them, they go pay 2 million francs before they are released. 2 million. Now so now take and survive down our groups that for ground zero, because down our groups that they do good things for this revolution, for advance the revolution. But no money ever care. That means nobody care how una they raise funds, how una they even survive, how una they chop. How will they take care of themselves? Nobody never has the answer. But they're the only ones seeing our results. So because those results that they come after something not happen, make una continue for make una struggle, una groups for stand up strong. Bail they back home, and if you use bail for raise money, enough money for fund una groups them. We'll continue to give una those strategies, and we'll tell una this December diaspora bushfallers that they go back for Ambazonia. They want the way they don't keep their name them very quiet, where they need to talk anything, where they feel say, oh no, me not tapang, they talk that nonsense. When they go back, we'll send on a list of everybody in name where they go back for ground zero. We'll give on a list. Say this Monday, so go there for this sign in that. This one they host marriage for banquet hall for memos. That one they host for Congress hall. And now the dignitaries in this way they will attend for Congress hall. We'll give una all that information. We'll give una. So that may any man, if you want home marriage for inside Congress hall, you invite 20 people there. We know say, okay, if they catch all that 20, they will give 1 million. That's 20 million. And 20 million means 20 million bullets. Good job. Any man with the host marriage for inside Memo's banquet hall, for inside war, because war they go on now go celebrate. Anybody with the host marriage for inside Congress hall or any hall for inside Ambazonia would already know, would already get all that information. I don't want to start revealing things there for here. Would already get the attendance, people with the dignity high table would already get that. Amba boys, they go to visit those places. They go to take some of those people then so on bail, and they must pay at least 2 million before they release them. Now so would they raise money to, for instance, those groups the way they don't get spokesman, and so those groups they go stand up.
My contributor, when I hear this thing where the Capo go talk today, the 22nd of January 2025, is not something new. Now, exactly what this way we start tell them since 2018 for my case, and longer before that, other people, them intellectuals, them and people the way they know how the world works. We don't tell them all these things, but they can't realize them not today. When I listen, my contributor,
the excesses that we have seen that have been championed by the EGOFC. And I have a written answer to that, which will also put in place a response to the propaganda being done by the EGOFC. And I'll read it because I write it down so that I will not miss any point. The struggle for Ambazonia independence has reached a critical juncture where the continuation of armed resistance no longer serve the interests of the people it seeks to liberate. I'll read it again so that you understand. The struggle for Ambazonian independence has reached a critical juncture where the continuation of armed resistance no longer serve the purpose of liberating our people. While the Declaration of Independence in 2018 by Ayok Tabi inspired hope and mobilized widespread support, the current reality demands us to re-evaluate our strategy to pursue the interests of our people and their aspiration. Ayok Tabi Declaration of Ambazonian Independence in 2018 marked a significant moment in our struggle, the galvanizing the hope of millions of Ambazonians. However, it is now evident that there is no chance for that independence declaration to be recognized by any country globally. Over the years, not a single nation or international body has formally acknowledged Ambazonian state, despite extensive advocacy and sacrifices that we have demanded from our people. This harsh reality is a failure that we must accept and move forward. The lack of recognition underscores the geopolitical realities that cannot be ignored. The international system prioritizes stability and territorial integrity of existing states. Cameroon, as a member of the African Union and the United Nations, enjoys significant diplomatic backing, making the recognition of Ambazonia virtually impossible. To continue pursuing independence through force, despite these insurmountable odds, is denying the truth and perpetuating the suffering of our people in an endless manner. Accepting this failure is not weakness. It is the first step towards building a new strategy that prioritizes our well-being as Southern Cameroonians and the possibility of making progress, even in negotiation with La République du Cameroon. While there is a clear distinction between disciplined fighters and rogue groups engaged in kidnapping, killings, and extortion, the reality is that armed resistance inherently emboldens and legitimizes these rogue actors. So, this is something I want to expatiate before I continue to read my speech. Ebenezer Akwanga, Ayaba Cho, Siseko Ayoktabi, and many of our established personalities have always said that what one Ambazonian group does, or one personality or one activist does, affects everybody because we are all interconnected. So one action by a rogue groups definitely affects the actions of legitimate groups. So legitimate groups' actions also affects rogue groups. So the groups that are legitimate and are doing a good job, they instead gives those who are doing the rogue job legitimacy, embolden them to continue the activity. So they are all interlinked. Their presence undermines the moral credibility of the struggle. These rogue groups alienates the population. It strengthens the enemy's narrative of labeling all freedom fighters as terrorists by continuing to support even the good groups. We inadvertently empower bad actors who exploit chaos for personal gain. So by supporting genuine Ambazonian groups, you also actually support those who are doing the bad things because they are all interlinked. That is why I have taken the position as a leader for PRAP and to push it as a leader for our struggle, for all his hostility to be halted because of the actions and consequences of those rogue groups. Armed attacks on Cameroon military no longer advance our cause. Instead, they provide justification for increased militarization and repression. The continued cycle of violence erode trust within the international community and amongst Ambazonians themselves. It also strengthens Cameroon's argument for Cameroon's military presence, as it portrays them as necessary force to maintain law and order and counter violence. Any concession that could be obtained through armed struggle have already been exhausted. Over the years, the use of force have failed to deliver significant progress, and the cost of continuing the fight now outweighs the potential benefit. Rather, the clinging to the strategy that has reached its limits, the focus must now shift to diplomatic offenses, unity amongst our people, and constructive engagement. Progress can only be achieved by appealing to the moral conscience of the international community and fostering a shared humanity. Non-violent advocacy, dialogue, and sustained diplomatic effort offer a more viable route to achieve concession and the protecting of the right of our people than the armed violence. The global community is more likely to respond to a movement grounded in peace and justice than a one made by violence and division. The Declaration of Independence in 2018 was a bold step, but it lacked recognition. That is a reality we can no longer ignore. Continue to fight under the guise of an unrecognized independence only deepens the struggle, the suffering of our people, and perpetuate the division in our society. Ending the use of force is a surrender, a strategic and moral decision that prioritizes the welfare of our people and the legitimacy of our cause. By stepping away from violence and focusing on peaceful advocacy, we can reclaim the moral high ground, delegitimizes rogue actors, and pave the way for meaningful progress. To say that we have failed to have the independence declared by Siseko recognized is not a matter to be ashamed of. It is the right thing to do. It is the bold thing to do. We do so as a matter of strength, not weakness, because we show that we put the priorities of our people ahead of ourselves. We must be truthful to our people. The Basque Country represented a window for us, like I used to tell Ayaba Cho, to understand what we can get and what we cannot get. The Basque Country, which support us, said that they cannot recognize the independence of Ambazonia. They said it clear to us, they cannot, because that is what we wanted them to do. We wanted them to recognize Ambazonia's independence and recognize us as a state. It was rejected, and we were advised to pursue our right of self-determination. And I insisted. That is why you see the egg of C. Ayaba Cho in his speeches now did not longer still portray us as an independent country, but a right of self-determination was now the main phrase that was being used by the egg of C and many of our Ambazonian groups, because that is how we can legally make a way forward. Our independence have not been recognized. It has been rejected by everybody. We should recognize that. It is not a bad thing to recognize your shortcomings and adjust accordingly. Our right of self-determination is the only way we can access concession, not our right to declare independence. We have the right to declare independence, but the people also have the right not to recognize it. Nobody have recognized it. That is the reality. Nobody will recognize it.
So that is the reality. The reality where these numbskulls, it don't take them over 7 years of destroying the fabric of life in Anglophone community. Stop picking them when they don't go to school, burn down schools, radicalize the poorly educated youth, send them for bush to check out from cry guns. They go be addicted to drugs. They don't commit untold suffering and atrocities against our people.
How many times we will tell Wuna, say nobody never go stand with Wuna Ambazonia. Nobody stands with Wuna. When we are doing independence, United Nations no can celebrate that. How many times I will tell Wuna, say if Wuna get independence today, United Nations no can celebrate that. You think the United Nations like Wuna? They don't like Wuna. They don't even want cash Wuna shadows. If Wuna get independence today, Wuna go apply for Olympics Wuna self. Wuna go join those organizations. No man will come for Wuna say, oh, what to set up embassy now? Wuna go knock for people that does that. Nobody recognizes Ambazonia. Nobody knows Ambazonia, and nobody wants to know about it. Wuna thinks Wuna make Wuna self recognize that through Facebook lives. We don't start the Facebook live since 5 years ago. Nothing has ever been recognized.
And then 7-8 years later, they can't tell Wuna exactly what we don't tell them. It no go work. Remember when Ayub Tabe be carried a caterpillar shoot and go for America? Talk said they do na diplomatic offensive. As stupid as some of our people they be, they believe them. They talk say they go for America. Just the same nonsense where they do them even for 2025. Talk say Donald Trump don't invite Ambazonia for inauguration. The funniest thing now say what people they still be in the stone age where they don't understand how the world works. They fall for all this kind petty scams. The most basic stupid lie. There is a segment in our society where they will still fall for that lie. And that is the problem. When I believe them, all the lies where they be telling for 2016-17, when I begin to carry guns go for bush, how many of the lies they don't come to pass? The lockdowns, the ghost towns, the destruction, they say they go ban school year. When I start them with the CAM, they get ships at Amba's Bay, United Nations, UNESCO, all of that nonsense where they be talking. How many of those things they don't come to pass? The answer is none. And that time for 2017, 2016, 2018, 19, when some of we will talk, when I be called, we say, black leg, you don't lick sardine oil. So Ayaba Cho na black leg now. It there for prison for Norway. Norway na black leg now. For America, they catch Mangang them, Tamufo St. Michael them, Walter Smoma them, Langmi Nestor, they catch Claude Chief Francis Cheney them. They lock them for America. America now na banana republic. Now the same international community this, where they be promised when I said that they can't recognize independence, they can't give una independence. What's that the independence a day?
Hail, hail the Kumkumasa, we the Cameroonians, we pledge our loyalty. Kumkumasa, Kumkumasa, you shall free our country from terror, and your blessing shall be like the stars above. The Most High God shall be your guide.
But this is the reality. People listen to the devil himself, my country people of La Republique, more than they listen to some Ambazonian activists. This is the reality.